Welcome to day 2 of the final test here in Bahrain, and for some drivers their last chance in the car before they get to Melbourne. Luckily for Lewis Hamilton though, he has another day's running in the W05 after starting today in the gravel. He would go on to complete 89 laps before a gearbox problem cut his day short. Sergio Perez topped the timesheets for the second day running and managed 108 laps in the Force India, 14 short of Fernando Alonso in the Ferrari, but 5 more than the Williams that continues to impress, today driven by Felipe Massa. Daniel Ricciardo won't drive the RB10 now until Melbourne, as he hands the car over to Sebastian Vettel. But he did notch up the team's most successful day's running yet, in terms of laps, 66 in total. But we start with the man who started his day up against the barriers out of turn 3.
I just had a bit of a spin, just testing out the gravel trap.
OK, and this afternoon gearbox problem curtailed your running. Has today thrown up more problems and solutions at all?
Every time we run, we find more and more problems. So, you know, it's a positive thing, because obviously we want it to happen when we get to Melbourne. So, but it's a lot of work for the guys. They have to strip the car down and check everything and go back to the drawing boards to try and see if they can improve on certain areas. But it's the same for everyone.
I was going to say, are they positive problems then, in the sense that you're really pushing the car as hard as you can to make it break, just to find out these things?
Well, whether or not we're pushing the car as hard as we can, I mean, I just get in and drive and try to break it, and I've done that, so they've got to go and fix it.
But overall, are you happy with your day's running today in terms of where the team seemed to be at?
I mean, today wasn't a spectacular day, so I mean, it's not really much to be happy with, except we got 80, 90 laps, which is a positive thing, and we found that issue. So otherwise, there wasn't really much done during the day.
Not many people will say that they are ready with 5 days of testing. It's like if you go to the World Cup in football and they give you, they change the ball, they change the size of the court, etc., and they give you 5 days to touch that ball. You know, we all would like to have more days and to have more experience, but in the other hand, if I see the number of laps that I did in 5 days are probably more than any other driver. So, in a way, being the same for everybody, I think I'm in a good position in terms of experience and in terms of laps. We managed to do a lot of laps again today, more than 600 kilometers, which are always welcome. I think at this stage of the testing, every lap counts. Every lap you discover potential problems that are better to see it now than in Australia. But on the other hand, still always the question mark of how competitive you are, that until Australia probably you will not answer that question. We see even today, you know, one Marussia in front of Hamilton, so there is that the proof of how little counts the time on winter, no? So keeping, you know, working hard and keeping discovering things in the car. We could be better at this stage probably in terms of performance and in terms of problems that we are discovering, but I'm sure there are other teams that are worse than us at this point of the winter. So many things to do, but hopefully we will arrive ready to Australia.
Nico Rosberg said that they have an idea where most of the teams in the paddock are in terms of the grid, but the one they don't know about is Ferrari. Where do you feel you sit, and where do you feel the other teams sit around you?
No idea. I will go to Nico to see that list probably, because I'm curious to see where everybody is at the moment. We have no idea. To be honest, we don't have too many compares, so we didn't spend any time on the competition, because we have a lot of things going on in our garage. And we are curious. To be honest, you know, curiosity is always there, and where we are, but difficult to know. As I said, I think I'm happy with things how they are going so far. I think we could be better in terms of performance. We could be better in terms of reliability also, that we have maybe too many problems sometimes in the day. Even if you do a lot of laps, sometimes you stop because of some issues. But on the other hand, when I see at the end of the day where we are and how many laps we do, I know that other teams are worse than us. So we need these last 2 days. Tomorrow with Kimi, and last day with me in the car again. We need a smooth test and try to find some performance, hopefully in the car.
I think we're ready as a team in terms of the testing we've done and understanding of the car and the power unit, I think we're very good in terms of getting maximum out of the power unit. Took us a little while to get there, but I feel that we are in a good place with that. In terms of the pace of the car, I don't know where we are. You know, low fuel runs, I really don't know. But high fuel runs, I would say we are lacking compared to a couple of teams out there, probably more than what we expected. This is an unusual circuit, but still, this is the launch package we have on the car. We don't have anything else on it yet. So the idea behind this car was to have a good basic car that didn't throw anything at us that was scary, like the ride that we had last year. And we've definitely done that. You know, the mechanical car is good. But we need to improve it, and that's hopefully what's going to come. Probably a little bit later than what expected, but we will have it for the first race.
Right. So the upgrades were going to come for the last 2 days of this test, but they're not going to come for Melbourne.
We're not quite sure yet.
Right. You said at the last test that you had some busy engineers. Presumably, you hinted that they were sort of shouting at you on the radio, or sort of talking to you, saying, you know, there's been a lot of fuel saving. Obviously, it's inevitable with these new regulations. Has that improved here? A bit better on the fuel saving?
It's so complicated. I mean, you can do so many things to try and save fuel, and it's not as simple as you might think about just lifting off and putting it into certain modes. There are other things that save fuel, less downforce, you know, and things like that. So there's so many different things to try. I think we've done pretty well in understanding the best way to go racing. So I think if we get a car if we've got a car in Melbourne that's competitive, we definitely know what to do with it. You know, I know that's easy to say. Well, it's easy, isn't it? The car's quick, you just go and win, but it's not the case. It's not the case this year. So, you know, if we've got a reasonably competitive car, we can definitely get maximum out of it and probably do a better job than some other teams.
Managed to get over 100 laps in the car again today. How pleased are you with the progress?
Very pleased. You know, I think that's very important for the moment. We know how important it is to put laps in the car. You know, it's to understanding the car. I think the understanding is the most important thing as well. You know, to see, you know, in which way we will start and which way we will prepare the setup and everything to Australia, you know. So understanding the engine, understanding how to drive, understanding drivability with the tires. So everything is important, you know. So it's really definitely, you know, important to run. And we did many laps. I think I cannot complain how many laps we did since Jerez to now. Unfortunately, I lost a day for not really a big issue. You know, it was something that a little thing that maybe made me lost a day of driving. You know, so today was actually my first day because I just did one afternoon last week. But looking forward to do more laps tomorrow and to trying to understand more and to go to Australia as, you know, most prepared as possible, you know, for the beginning.
I'll ask you did a race simulation and Valtteri's done one as well now. How do you feel these engines are going to change the racing? Do you think we'll have long periods of fuel saving?
Yeah, I think fuel saving is important, you know, for many cars, many teams, you know. It's something that we really need to work on it, you know. But you know, I think is maybe another thing that you need to learn how to save the fuel, but not losing lap time, you know, but losing as little possible the lap time, and so it's something that we're always trying to work. We're always trying to improve from day to day.
Do you feel it's going to change the way you race, though?
A little bit, yes.
Do you want to expand on how it might change how you race or not? Is it just a no?
You know, it's so many things to think about. You know, you need to think about the tires. You need to think about how to use the engine for the qualifying, which will be completely different for the race. You know, how to save fuel, how to be quick, but also saving fuel. You know, everything is important. You know, it's not just one thing. It's so many things that you know, it needs to be fixed and automatic inside our brain.
And just finally from me, it seems like Mercedes are at the front, Mercedes-powered cars at least. Do you feel you're going to be in a position then to fight for podiums this year?
I hope. I think it's too early to say. I think it's really difficult to say where we're going to be in Australia, you know, how it will be our car to fight in Australia. So, but I think, you know, everything is possible, you know. I think the most important thing is also to go to Australia and to finish the race, which is something that it won't be a very easy thing to manage, you know, for many teams as well. So let's try to be as prepared as possible, and I hope maybe we can go to Australia and we can have a great car to fight for the podium and almost fighting for also victory or you know, a good race anyway. So I really hope.
Jean-Eric, a relatively trouble-free day today. How are you feeling tonight?
Not too bad. We've done some good work, some good progress as well. Of course, we still some work to do. Work is under progress, but you know, so far it was the best day we had in terms of mileage. So it's getting there slowly and slowly. Hopefully, we'll be there for Melbourne.
You haven't had a chance to do a race simulation yet, but how busy do you think you're going to be in the car this year?
I hope really busy. That would be a good sign for me.
But in terms of actually in the car during the race, is there more for you to do than there has been last year?
Yeah, I guess there will be quite a lot to do. You know, you have a lot of different maps from the engine. You need to save the energy, you need to save the fuel. So we don't have discussed button to press anymore, but we have all of these maps, rotary settings and everything that we are going to change during the race, during different phases, depending on the strategy as well. So I think we'll be more busy than last year, definitely.
We know that the biggest change obviously being the engine change, but in terms of what we'll see in the racing, do you think we'll see different racing this year? People will be having to fuel save and all sorts. Do you think we'll see different racing on the track?
I think racing will be quite more or less similar to last year. I think it will be definitely different, but I think that will be really exciting. If I would be a fan, I will definitely not miss the first race because I want to see how it will be like. Even myself, I don't know how it's going to be, so that's why I can't wait to be in Melbourne or at least to the races where nobody will have any troubles and see a real fight with all the cars on track, and that will be fun.
It is just 2 weeks to Melbourne. Is your target in Melbourne? Some teams have admitted to us their target in Melbourne is just to finish the race. Would you see that? So that's where you are at the moment as well?
I wish we could target something else, but yeah, definitely. I think the real target would be to finish the race, because right now I think if we finish the race, we finish in the points, so that would be good.
So that's it for day 2 of the final test here in Bahrain. Just 16 more hours of running before the cars take to the track in Melbourne. But for the likes of Daniel Ricciardo, there's nothing more he can do. He'll be keeping a close eye to see if Sebastian Vettel can not only put in more laps in the RB10, but also get some performance out of it as the other teams make their final push. We'll have updates for you on Sky Sports News throughout the day, and also a full wrap on the Sky Sports F1 channel at 9 p.m.